most of my issue is that of course, all of my, like, right by my face is where I have most of my gray hair.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of having this, like, halo of gray hair, like 2 weeks after I do my roots.
Yeah.
And so really it's not like so much about wanting to look a certain way, but just blending this so it's like not this like big line. And so since COVID, I've done my own roots. And it was like, okay, let me switch from demi to permanent color, and then it just gets darker and darker and darker because you try to match.
Yeah.
I was trying to like match my hair color, and I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been using a demi permanent 5NN on my roots for a little over a year and a half.
Okay.
So
what brand was it?
It's Schwarzkopf Igora.
Okay.
So it's a 13 volume. I mean, you can see how long some of my white hairs are.
Yeah. And that's a demi, you said. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I haven't used any like lightener. I mean, I've used developer on it, but I haven't used any bleach on my hair in probably like 8 years. So there shouldn't be any left on my head.
Okay. So this is your goal.
So I like that, and like clearly,
hold on one second. Let me just. Okay.
Like this is probably like previous lightening, right? Because it's lighter towards the ends, but I don't like having my hair necessarily just all one color. And I haven't pulled any color through in a very long time because I knew this was something that I wanted to do.
Yeah. Do you like the dimension of the root?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
My hope is to have it like, I thought that was a pretty color, like the actual like tone of it, yeah.
Which part?
This part.
The back part?
Yeah, I don't mind the front part at all.
Okay, but the back part.
I have never gotten my hair that light before.
Okay.
So, I have been told that it's like, oh, well, your hair just pulls red a lot and it just won't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what I was being told or if that's actually the case.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see if your hair will be able to get that light. But maybe like something more brownish tone and like the other photo would be more realistic today, and then see how your hair feels.
I think we can, like, it'll do that.
Yeah, like something like more like the top part, I think would be more doable based off of what I'm seeing right now. But it looks like you like more of like that neutral tone.
I would shoot for ashier, the more ashy the possible, and then it would be more of a neutral color. It's my hair ends up more of a caramel color that will end up brassy. But
if your hair is able to get lighter, would you care if it's ashier?
No.
Okay. If it was able to get any lighter, would you mind seeing any gray tones?
I think this is pretty, like, eventually maybe.
Oh, I think you did send me that, right? Yeah.
I did. This is like, I'm sure my hair won't do that in one session. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
is that like your ultimate goal? Later?
Yes. So my mom, like at 61, was almost completely silver. So I know that that's
possible.
Where I'm heading. I'm not quite ready to go there yet. I just turned 40. So.
Yeah, I think the more dimensional route would be better, like the first photo, or even something similar to that.
This is pretty. I love the tone of this.
I think that is more, here, let me show what we'll probably end up doing. I think that one definitely looks more doable.
Yeah.
Do you like how the front's a little bit more solid of the blend, and then it's more dimensional? Like it looks lighter from here, and then towards the back it gets a little bit more dimensional. Do you like that?
I do like it. I think that if we're like trying to sort of match my gray pattern, that's what's going to happen anyway.
So the front piece, that's what I was doing.
Blended.
So that when you put your hair up, it looks nice and blended, especially in that area where you said.
And I do have, I mean, like, some of my gray is back here, but obviously it's darker towards my front.
Yeah, it's definitely darker. Okay, are we doing a haircut too, Jessica?
I did not know what you had time for. My main concern was the color. So
we can do whatever you like. Yeah, I do have time to trim it if you'd like to shape it. Because when's the last time you got a haircut?
It's been a little while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little like grown out.
Yes.
Cut.
Yeah.
But if we did cut it, just a trim and shaping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I have had very deep layers.
Yeah.
Very like shaggy layers before. So I used to wear my hair curly because it is naturally very wavy slash curly.
How your natural? This is blown out.
Yes. Because the more gray hair I got, the gray hair doesn't have the same wave pattern.
Totally.
And so I just went back to straightening it.
Okay. Do you normally wear it curly?
No, I've been straightening it lately.
You blow dry it all you usually?
It's often I just let it air dry and then I will straighten it with a straightener. I use heat protectant on it, but this I actually blew it dry.
Okay.
Hello and welcome back to this week's transformation. So this week I have a new client who has some old color that she wasn't loving because of the demarcation line, as we've seen in a lot of my videos, and today we're just going to get her to a point where this is going to grow out soft. She doesn't have to worry about the harsh line of demarcation with the dark color in contrast to her natural gray hair. So I'm going to do my signature placement, always starting in the back, doing a detail weave around the hairline here so that this, when she wears her hair up, there's some color and it breaks up that darkness in the back. And if she were to put her hair forward too, this foil is what is going to show and frame around her face. And so with her gray pattern too, she doesn't have a ton of gray, so I'm going to be doing a more dimensional placement, and then based off of how she looks and feels like it faded out, we'll determine if we're going to pick up some more pieces or just kind of keep following her gray pattern as far as the blend. But honestly, I love her gray pattern because it's very dimensional, so we can do a very dimensional placement but still give something that is going to grow out really nice and soft. So when I'm thinking of doing my placement on someone who doesn't have a lot of gray, essentially what I'm trying to do is create a lightness pattern that doesn't over highlight their hair but just feels like a little bit lighter of a placement than what they naturally have with their gray hairs. So basically I'm trying to create a look that is going to show a little bit more lightness than she naturally has growing in. So then when this does grow in, her roots still look darker compared to the ends. And the other thing is, since this is her first session with me and everything is pretty much dark, I am utilizing slices for this appointment. But again, depending on how this grows out and everything like that, we'll determine whether we continue to do slices next time or if we start weaving. So right now I've turned her around and I'm doing the front part of her mohawk section, which is my center section. And I'm just doing some baby lights off her hairline. I did about 3 back to back. So the 3 baby lights is going to give a really nice, soft, impactful money piece, but nothing that's going to be too chunky. We want something that is, again, going to match her gray pattern. And her gray pattern to me definitely has more dark in it. There's not a lot of areas that she doesn't have actually any areas that have any like silver chunks or anything like that. So the money piece and everything around her hairline, we're going to keep it nice and soft, nice and dimensional, because I want it to look as natural as possible as this grows out. And then after those 3 baby lights, I'm pretty much going to connect the rest of the mohawk with some slices, and I'm spacing them out a little bit further apart from the money piece. And then again on the side here, I did her side and I did a weave right off the hairline, and then I'm continuing to do some slices. So for this entire transformation, I am using the Danger Jones powder lightener that has 9+ levels of lift. It's going to ensure that her hair is going to stay healthy throughout this whole transformation because it is formulated with Bonder. and it is going to give me a really nice lift so that we can try and get her as light as possible today. Essentially, when we're doing these type of gray blending transformations, ideally it's best to lighten them to at least like a level 9 for it to fade out not as warm, and so that the blonde that it does fade out to is very wearable. I would say though, even though in the end of this video we're going to try and do a really ashy toner, these toners do fade really fast, and that's something that I try to explain as best as I can to clients who are unfamiliar with the way that toners work. Anything that's going to be super ashy and gray, with every wash does fade out warm, and you do see a difference every time you do wash it. So it's important to note that even if you do use purple shampoo, that sometimes the color still can feel like it is fading out quite fast. And so my goal whenever I do a gray blending client like this, especially when they have like a darker base, I try to lift them to a pretty leveled so that when the color does fade out, it is complementing against their gray hair and their skin tone and all of that. But I do have clients that do come in for toners in between their root touch-up appointments, and then I do have some clients that don't mind the color in between their appointments, and then they can kind of just maintain the warmth at home with the purple shampoo that is recommended. And for the purple shampoo, I would say I've been loving the Danger Jones Killer Blonde. I've gotten great feedback from a lot of clients saying that it is very pigmented, and so sometimes I even have clients that will say that it's a little bit too much. And so for those clients that feel like that shampoo is a little too purpley, you can definitely dilute it with just like your normal shampoo and just maybe leave it on less. But for clients who feel like they really need a really strong purple shampoo, I typically recommend leaving that purple shampoo on for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and just like playing around with it. So in this clip, you can see that some of her mid area of the foils that I'm pulling did get a little bit warmer than those ends. So I'm going to be doing a kind of like an overtoning technique with my toner to kind of cancel out that warmth that was left behind, and hopefully that helps with the fade and cancels out enough warmth so that it does fade out a lot prettier on her. So now we are going to be toning her. I'm using the Danger Jones gloss toners for this one, and I am doing my go-to toner formulation, which is their 5-1 for her root shadow, and then on the mids and ends I'm doing the 6-01 with the 9-12. I find that this toner is just, it works for so many different gray blending clients of mine, and it always has the best fade and cancels out a lot of the warmth left behind.
Wow, my hair's never been this light before.
You like it?
Yeah. Yeah, no joke.
It blends better.
It does. It does a lot.
Yeah. How does the tone and everything feel?
Good. It's definitely...
Yeah, the ends look more gray because those got really blonde, but if you see up here where it's more brownish tone, that's where your warmth is. So when as this starts to fade out, you're gonna feel this fades out a bit warmer, and the ends are gonna fade out more like that lighter blonde part of the photo that you showed me. Yeah. Because the toner washes out extremely fast, so you can maintain the ash tone with the purple shampoo if you'd like. Okay. Or you could just see how it fades out. If you don't mind warmth, some of my clients actually think it fades out fine because I was able to overtone and then have it just fade out to a really pretty color that doesn't look as brassy as like that other picture. So it's like right in this area where it lifted like a golden with hue of orange to it. So hopefully that does enough canceling, so by the time in like 2 months or so it doesn't look as orangey. Yeah. No, it's like copper, but not a pretty copper. Like it's intentional. It's not as copper as the photo you showed me. But it still had a hue pinch of it. So I just, when you said no orange, I'm like, okay, we're just gonna do the most today, so that when it fades out, it fades the best. Okay. Okay. How does it feel, Jacqueline?
Feels really good.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It looks
Thank
so
you
much
so
like
much.
put together. I love it.
Oh no, it looks amazing, and I can definitely see how, like up here, it was definitely
Softened.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I love like your natural gray in between. It already looks like a highlight in between the toner. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, we talked about like this through here. It looks in this light, especially, like it looks really good.
Yeah, soft. Yeah, because I didn't do the demi in between, so all that hair in between is your
mine.
natural.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so here is the finished look from today's transformation. I loved it, honestly. I know there was like that warm band in her mid area, but I felt like the toner did such a good job canceling it out. And I will say, when it does fade out, it will fade a little bit warmer in that area, but that's why we did a more ashier toner than her original gold photo, because I want this to fade out and last her as long as possible. But anyways, stay tuned for next week, because next week I'm going to show you guys her 7-month follow-up of what this faded out to and how we are going to do her maintenance appointment. Alrighty, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.